What is up, my fellow citizens? It's Gio here, and we finally have the sale of the Misc Endeavor. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. The Misc Endeavor is one of the most unique ships in the Star Citizen universe, and the ultimate embodiment of the game's guiding philosophy to allow players the freedom to choose their own path. Its signature feature is a modular architect that allows for an unprecedented level of customization of the base functionality, allowing the ship to fulfill any of a variety of different roles. The ability of an authorized dealer to promptly retrofit any of the 3 attachment points for a nominal surcharge means that owners will have the flexibility to quickly and cost-effectively make large, sweeping changes to the core functionality of their ship, and thus much more easily shift from one occupation to another as often as they desire. Stage 1. The Explorer. Science and exploration have always gone hand in hand, and so the challenge facing the Endeavor design team was a difficult one. How do you design a spacecraft that allows for both dangerous field research and to facilitate extremely delicate lab work? The solution? A multi-stage ship that allows an armored explorer cab to detach and operate under its own power in extreme conditions. Designed with the armor and shielding needed to survive everything from micrometeorite strikes to survey missions dangerously close to the star's corona, the Endeavor's Explorer can completely detach from the scientific workshop and operate on its own. Featuring everything short of a jump drive, the Explorer cab is intended for risky operations where the workshop could otherwise suffer costly damage or potential destruction. Stage 2. The Workshop. The meat and potatoes of the Endeavor concept is the fully modular workshop section, which offers a 3x2 grid of 6 attach points for independently designed scientific and medical pods. These pods run the gamut from standard laboratories to spacecraft launch bays to even more exotic designs. Most are constructed by Misc, although the company has made the attach points open source to encourage future niche pod development. When left on orbit, the workshop and drive unit can continue to function together as a dry lab installation. Stage 3. Drive Unit. The Endeavor's powerful drive unit has been designed to generate the necessary power to support both add-ons and a variety of future pod attachments currently in development. It contains a capital class power plant in the ship's main thrusters. Note that the drive unit does not detach from the workshop while in space and is unable to maneuvering without the Explorer cab's thrusters attached. Extreme Modularity. The Endeavor's modularity is based on a plug-and-play grid concept that can allow for up to 6 independent modules attached at any one time. Modules are typically installed in balanced, symmetrical pairs to preserve the preset thruster system. Each module lists the number of slots it takes, ranging from 2x1, 2 spaces 1 across, to 3x2, all 6 slots. Biodome. As long as humanity expands outward into the galaxy, there will always be a need for the most basic elements that sustain it. The Endeavor's biodome pods were designed to support ongoing agriculture operations, adapting and growing foodstuffs which can then be sold for a profit. Size 2x1, limit 2 sets, 2 domes per set for a total of 4 per ship. Telescope Array. From the moment humans first looked to the sky, we have dreamed of learning what lies beyond the stars. The optional telescope array turns the Endeavor into an extremely powerful mobile stellar observatory, with an array of instrumentation that allows crews to gather data from the depths of space itself. This data, useful for everything from standard nav studies to jump point discovery, can then fetch a premium on the open market. Size 2x1, limit 1 installation, single telescope per ship. Supercollider. The most visually unique Endeavor module, the distinct circular Supercollider is actually only one small piece of a more elaborate overclocking facility. This large module includes a pair of White Room Workbench labs ideal for tweaking and overclocking starship components. Enthusiasts and professionals seeking to push their weapons, thrusters, or other upgrades to the limit can do so with atomic precision thanks to the attached accelerator that allows for safe testing of new theoretical limits, raising the bar on component performance as high as possible. Size 2x2. Service equipment and crew pod 2x1. The service equipment and crew enclosure, CEASE, adds additional crew facilities to the Endeavor, allowing the workshop module to function as a standalone installation for longer missions or for the overall ship to support additional crew in general. General Research Pod 2x1. The General Research Pod, GRP, is intended as a multi-use facility that can support a variety of active scientific pursuits: microscopy, zero-gravity experiments, biological studies, and the like. With internal slots for precision scanners, sample and specimen collections, spectrometers, and chemical analyzer, the GRP is capable of cataloging new experimental data as well as producing cutting-edge components. Note, the GRP is intended for legal experimentation as authorized by the UEE only. General Science Pod 2x1. The General Science Pod, GSP, is the Endeavor's analytic module, with installation points for a variety of scientific computers and databanks. The GSP is oriented towards inward-facing processing of data gathered elsewhere, featuring extensive systems for turning the raw information gathered by the GRP and telescope array into valuable data for sale or trade. Fuel Pod, aka Standard Cargo Pod 2x1. The Endeavor Fuel Pod takes up a minimal amount of space to add additional fuel for long duration missions. Effectively a large drop tank, the fuel pod is typically used by Endeavor crews venturing further into the unknown. Medical Bay 2x2. The Medical Bay Pod is a large 2x2 set of attached rooms which operate effectively as a standing hospital, complete with operating theaters, recovery rooms, and more. The Endeavor's Medical Bay is intended to operate alongside the optional Landing Bay, ferrying patients from battlefields and disasters for treatment and recovery. Size 2x2. Landing Bay 2x1. The Landing Bay Pod slings a single, large hangar underneath the spacecraft and attaches it directly to other laboratory pods. Intended to support hospital operations, the Landing Bay has room to support multiple Cutlass Red ambulances and features a complete decontamination facilities. Note that while the Landing Bay was designed to support ambulance operations, it also functions alongside standard science modules and can support the upkeep of any sufficiently small spacecraft. Size 2x1, limit 1 set, 1 single bay per ship. Now we have 4 buying options. I'm going to name the 4 pre-built ones, and then we're going to talk about the other modules you could buy with just the base by itself. Discovery Class. The Discovery Class option includes a variety of multi-purpose labs and storage facilities, a service and crew enclosure, a general research pod, and a general science pod. Standard discoveries are used by disparate groups for everything from mobile medical research to exoarchaeology, with the Explorer as a planetary lander to less legitimately illegal drug production. Hope Class. Dubbed the Hope Class by the UEE, which uses the design as a troop support ship, the medical variant of the Endeavor comes standard with a medical bay and a landing bay attached. Olympic Class. Constructed primarily for the pursuit of agricultural science, the Olympic Class Endeavor includes 2 sets of biodome pods for a total of 4 completely self-contained farming environments. Master Set. The Endeavor Master Set includes 1 of each module currently available. Note that modules will be stored in the hangar while not in use. The Master Set cannot launch with all included modules active simultaneously. Now the price for the Discovery Class is $425, the Hope Class is $450, the Olympic Class is $500, and the Master Set is $900. Now let's go over the Endeavor base model, which is $350, and we'll go over all the modules. Biodome Pod, $100, Telescope Array Pod, $125, Supercollider Pod, $125, Service Equipment and Crew Pod, $25, General Research Pod, $45, General Science Pod, $45, Fuel Pod, $35, Medical Bay Pod, $75, and Landing Bay, $75. Now everything I just named comes with LTI, but we're going to hop into some more of these specifications, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what I feel about the ship and the modules. Focus Research Platform. Length 200 meters. Mass 1 million kilograms. Max crew 16 people. Cargo capacity 500. Main thrusters to be determined. Weapons, 2 size 3 remote turrets, laser repeaters. Now to give you guys a size comparison here, we have the Hull E, which is 372 meters in length. The Idris P frigate is 238 meters at length, and then the Endeavor is 200 meters at length. So it's right there with the big ships. It's a little smaller, but it's still a pretty big ship. But guys, I must say, I am so impressed with this ship and all the stuff that you can do. As far as functionality wise, when it comes down to functions, this is my favorite. There is so much fun stuff to do. I'm considering melting a lot of ships to get the master set, to be honest. I'm keeping it real. Everything on here looks interesting except for the telescope array pod. That looks kind of boring in my opinion, but everything else, I love farming. I did an arcade, make some space drugs, overclocking. Come on. Oh, I just can't wait to do the overclocking stuff. That is like a main pod I have to have right there, hands down. And there's going to be something for everybody probably in your org to do on this ship. I mean, I just can't wait for us to load up, have fun, and just do some fun stuff. Like, this is funner than the PvP stuff to me. Going out, making money, exploring stuff. That is my type of gameplay. I'm also surprised that the front of the ship comes off, so you don't have to bring the whole station with you. That is really cool. I'm glad they did that, even though it doesn't have its own jump drive, nothing like that. But just the fact that you could detach and go planet side and leave that in the air, that's pretty cool. My only concern is that the size 3 guns, you only got 2 on there. Now that is, you're gonna have to make sure you have some security with you. I can guarantee you that, because now, seeing how this is, I could definitely see how pirates would attack you and how this thing is a moneymaker, because the pirates are gonna come try to steal your data. They're gonna try to steal your space drugs, your farming goods. So that type of stuff is gonna go on, and I'm very surprised at how profitable this ship is. Because, you know, at first there was a lot of people, including myself, we was like, man, how much money could you really make off a science ship? And then we see all the variety on this ship. You got the telescope array where you could find the nav points and the data, which people could probably take that from you. You got to be careful. You got the Supercollider, and you could do the overclocking, so you could be like the top overclocker, be known for it, get paid for that. The biodome, you could grow some fruits and vegetables, and I'm pretty sure later on down the line we may have some mechanics that show how good of a farmer you are. If your fruits or vegetables are real good, or they won't be as good as maybe another farmer, so they won't sell as well. And I'm hoping later on that we could maybe even have some animals in those biodomes, maybe milk some cows. I don't know, sky's the limit with that. I just love farming, and I don't know how it grew on me in the game. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, we could grow our own food, and then we could go trade it ourselves if you have a whole ship and everything's basically in-house if you're your own farmer and trader. Oh my god, just the possibilities. See, this is why it makes this ship a must-have. I got to have this ship at all costs. I don't care. But another topic that I want to talk about is the module stuff going on. Now, a lot of people, I've been seeing some people don't like the modules, or they rather have the variants. I mean, they got variants on here too, and modules. So I don't see what the problem is. And the module system, this is what I love about it. The base model of the Endeavor is $350. That is relatively cheap for a ship of that size in the Star Citizen universe. So you could buy that right now and decide not to buy the modules until you get in the verse, which is awesome. So you have that option, or you could buy whatever module fits your ship now. Something like the Carrack, say if you didn't want that rover or the extra ship that comes with it, we were forced to buy that because it came with the ship. It didn't have the modularity stuff that's going on now. So it made that ship $350, but it could have been cheaper if we would have had this type of option. So that's what I love about it. I don't see why people are complaining about it. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of variants. You don't have to get them all. I know I'm getting them all because I just want to do everything on this ship that has to offer. But are you guys getting one? How many are you getting? Or how many modules, I should say, you're getting? Because I know I'm getting the master set. But you guys have a blessed day. In one more thing, Star Citizen for life.